you doing, everybody? Welcome to the Stan Sheriff Center. The Hawaiian Tel FCU starting lineup scrolling at the bottom of your screen. This is night 2 of the Chevron Rainbow Wahine Invitational. Two teams coming off of opening night sweep victories, about to do battle. Number 18, Hawaii, and Wichita State, a team in the also receiving votes category just outside the top 25. This fits to be a good one, Chris.
It really does, and Dave Shoji said it all last night. He said, we better play better on the Saturday night than we did on Friday night. This Wichita State team is a good one.
And it'll be Savannah Kahakai to get things started for Hawaii. An overpass, Olivia McGill unable to put it down. Scramble play for the Shockers, and from the outside, it's Jody Larson, and it's going to be a net violation against Hawaii. So Shockers first on the board here in the opening stanza.
Taylor Higgins got hung up in the cable that time.
So back to serve will be Katie Riley, a 6-foot senior from Cypress, Texas, one of just 2 seniors on this Shocker roster. Middle set McGill. Good touch there by Larson. But Hawaii with an opportunity to pass a little tight to the net, and thankfully for the Rainbow Wahine, Taylor Higgins was able to time the joust well.
That's 2 in 2 nights.
Yeah.
She's on a roll.
And we already stated last night, it's more about the timing in that last push. She's been able to win the joust against some bigger, tougher players.
Exactly.
Higgins with the jump serve. Pass by Danny Mostrom. And the right side set goes to Jody Larson, getting a few swings here early in the transfer from Oklahoma. Able to put it down.
Jody Larson got more sets than anybody in the Shocker team last night with 29 sets. He's got the heavy arm.
High and away, the set goes to Nikki Taylor, hitting from the left side. Off the block, kept alive by the Shockers. So the right side set goes to Michaela Raudsep, and she misses the court hard angle wide. So Hawaii with the point, and we're even at 2. Here is time on Olivao to serve. 8 kills on 19 swings last night. Also had an ace versus Idaho in the 3-set victory for the Rainbow Wahine. And into the twine it goes.
Taylor Higgins did a nice job of spreading the offense around last night. She had Nikki Taylor obviously with 12 kills. And then she had McGill with 8. Manu Olivao with 8. Clay Greeley with 7. So pretty well distributed offense.
Hannah Shelton in the serve for Wichita State. Middle set McGill, and that was perfect. And maybe tonight, based on this Wichita State system, an area that Hawaii can exploit in transition.
Exactly. Perfect pass by Kahakai. She got it all started. And then you see McGill just going over the block.
McGill doing her usual thing last night. 8 kills, hit .438. She led the Big West Conference last season, hitting .405 for the year. So it's another day at the office for her. Raudsep with the swing. Good dig, Manu Olivao. She gets the set from the back row and puts it down.
That's the new dimension to Hawaii's offense. Besides the D-ball to Taylor, Manu Olivao hitting the ball out of the back row. Another new dimension that Hawaii's been very effective with in the early preseason.
Claire Marie Anderson slaps it into play for Hawaii. Left side set. This goes to Shamen Fayed. Great diving save, Manu Olivao. Now Greeley finds the avenue for another Rainbow Wahine point.
This is something that Chris Lamb was concerned about before the game. How powerful would Hawaii's pin hitters be, especially in long rallies?
Pass by Fayed, bad one, and she has to send a free ball Hawaii's way. Anderson the pass, Higgins, middle set, Maglio slams it home.
Maglio took about a game and a half to get her first kill last night. Tonight, very quickly gets her first kill, and it's a punctuation mark.
Yeah, that was with some authority.
Dunk.
Yeah. Head coach Dave Shoji said Mags may have had a little bit of the nerves going last night, a little stage fright. Thus the slow start. Raudsep finding the seam on the Hawaii side of the court, so Wichita State gets it to 4, serving 6.
Two former high school teammates watching this ball go between them. They both thought the other was going to take it. Manu Olivao and Higgins.
So Danny Mostrom had 19 digs in the sweep win over Oregon State last night with the serve. Middle set Maglio, that's blocked, kept alive by Higgins. So Kahakai, bump set to Greeley. Right there is Mostrom, beautifully done. step out. That goes to Riley, kept on the shocker side. Now Fayed, two-handed in the air, but it'll be a net violation against the Rainbow Wahine, so a point for Wichita State. And Shemin Fayed, who had the swing for Wichita State, she's a 6-foot redshirt freshman from Victoria, British Columbia, and she can sky.
She gets up. Had a little trouble finding the court last night. I'm sure she'll settle down tonight. She's tremendous athleticism.
Great dig there by Larson on the Greeley swing, touched over. Mano Leval bumps it over the net. A little pinball action here. It's like a ping pong match. Greeley will now take a swing off the high hands. Shockers go step out. This is Riley. And she puts it down for another Shockers point. And that is an area that Chris Lamb, the head coach for Wichita State, said he was concerned with. The long rallies, the scramble plays. He says Hawaii's just a little bit more fiery, a little more experienced. But there was a win right there for the Shockers.
Nice step out move by Riley. She had plenty of heat on that one down the rally.
Higgins goes right side. Here's Taylor against the double block. Hammers it down.
Notice, I like that you said double block. I think Nikki Taylor will see two blockers all night long. Chris Lamb and his staff, I'm sure, watched lots of Nikki Taylor tape last night. And they're going to make sure that she finds two people all the time.
Another added aspect to her game, the serve. Here's Fayed through the block and down. You saw how high up off the Terraflex she got. She's able to split the block for a Wichita State point. We're not at 7 here. Already the 5th tie of this opening set. Freebie for the Rainbow Wahine. Wichita State 0-4 versus Hawaii all time. Last came to the Islands when they played in this tournament back in 2011. Left side said that's Jody Larson, caught it fat, it goes long. Point Rainbow Wahine.
Rainbow Wahine lined up well on the net. I think that was an avoidance attack that time by Larson. She saw a well-formed double block.
So Calais Greeley sends it deep. Pass by Fayed. Step out goes to Riley. Kept alive by Higgins off the block. Set by Taylor to Mano Leval. 3 blockers were up, and she was able to hammer it off of the hands and out. And another Hawaii digit added to the scoreboard.
What a set from Nikki Taylor. This ball had "hit me" written all over it. And Leval did just that.
She didn't try to tool the block. She just decided to rip into it. And it worked out. Mostrom shanked that one a little bit. Great diving save in the setup for Larson, but a dig by Kahakai. Now Mano Leval took something off. Mostrom right there. Left side set a little low, so a chance here for Hawaii. Back row set, Greeley. Dug up by Fayed. She's going to get the set from the back row. There's Kahakai. Good little rally here. Taylor. And that one didn't get over the net.
Great rally. Some good defense by Wichita State. Fayed popping one up. And Mostrom is the other one to watch on defense for them. Their libero. She really can dig the ball. There she is right there, popping it up.
Doing it right on cue. Larson able to work the block to her advantage. Wichita State back within 1.
Notice the tempo of Wichita State sets. They're very quick to the outside, to the pins, quick at the middle. They can take an advantage of a mismatch, they will.
Emily Hebert, the setter. Sophomore, the serve. Pass Mano Leval, and she gets the set and sends it long. No touch at the net, so we draw even again. That's the 6th tie of this opening stanza. Now the crowd to make some noise, urging the home team on. Mano Leval from off the net. Bump set goes to Larson. Right there is Greeley. Higgins. She's going to set up Taylor. Right there is Mostrom. Right side, that's Riley off the block, saved by Kahakai. And here we go, another great sequence. Mano Leval blocked and stuffed.
Abby and Lehman, they're all confident Conference All-American. Got most of that one. There you see the good solid block, forehands across. That's a shocker block. No, had 3 blocks last night, but Chris Lamb was very happy with their block, and they touched a lot of balls.
4-0 run here for the Shockers. Taylor, can she put it to an end? Yes.
They had forehands up again there, but not penetrating over the net. One pair of the hands was a little bit off the net, and that's how the ball snuck into the Shocker side of the court.
Saw that all-around effort by Nikki Taylor last night, plus a career-high hitting percentage, 500 for the match. And it's going to be another net violation called against Hawaii. We've had a few of those already here in the first set.
Time, Olivia McGill trying to press over a little bit too much there on Lehman. You know, she wants to be aggressive.
Good pass by Greeley. High and away, Manole Val. Off the block and out. Point Hawaii, we're tied again.
Solid pass there. McGill going hard in the middle, which held Lehman just a little bit, just enough for Olival to see a seam in the block.
So here's Taylor Higgins, one of the co-captains, with the jump serve. We're going to have a rotation violation against Hawaii. Someone was misaligned.
I think Dixon Chun said that Kahakai and Greeley were out of position.
Overpass, great save. Manolival back over the net. Middle set, that goes to Lehman. And it's going to be a Wichita State point. What's the call here?
Tapped out. Nice save by Taimane Olival.
Not exactly certain what that last call was.
Last play was Taylor Higgins was a back row player, and she went up to block.
Wichita State getting the point, first to 15. So 15 serving 12 when we come back. Take a look at the Kaiser Permanente keys to the match, Chris.
For Wichita State, they're going to derail the Taylor train. That would be Nikki Taylor. She had led in digs, led in kills, blocks, and aces last night. With Wichita State, they've got to ask Dear Abby for advice. That's Abby Lehman. She's their All-American.
Good save out of the bench area by Mostrom here. Wichita State by 3 in the first set. Taylor from the left side blocked, kept alive by Greeley. Second try for Nikki Taylor, dug up by Mostrom. Half-hearted attempt, so Hawaii with a free chance. Middle set, McGill finds the floor.
Hawaii's ball control in transition much better tonight than last night. There you see McGill getting up early. She touches 10-7. So a high set is necessary for her to put down. Good play by Taylor Higgins.
13 serving 15, and that's an ace, much needed for Hawaii. Things derailed slightly prior to that timeout. Remember, Hawaii was out of rotation, then they had a back row attacker violation. 2 free points basically given to Wichita State. Trailed by 3 going into the break, and here they are back within 1.
And this service ace, she had 34 last year, number 2 on the team.
How about 2 in a row for you?
Well, last night she had 1 service ace, so she's got 3 on the year already.
First team all Big West Conference a year ago, Taimane Olival, now a senior on this Rainbow Wahine squad. Overpass, saved by Lehman. Swing by Fayed, chance now for Hawaii. Here's Greeley against a double block, got it down. It was an 8-2 Wichita State run, now a 4-0 Rainbow Wahine run. Timeout on the floor.
OC Sports, presented on Oceanic Time Warner Cable, is sponsored by Bank of Hawaii.
Joining back, live action, 16 serving 15, and Taimane Olival, who had back-to-back aces just moments ago, sends it wide. So we're tied at 16 here. Critical juncture of this opening set. Wichita State, as expected, supplying a bit of a greater challenge for this Rainbow Wahine squad here as compared to their opening set of opening night last night versus Idaho. Pass by Manole Val, middle set McGill, the dink works.
Oh, McGill's been banging, banging, banging. Caught the Shockers on their heels that time.
When that pass is there and that set is there, she can rise up so high and appears to almost float and levitate up there. She can make those mid-air decisions whether to pull the string or not sometimes.
Exactly.
Pass by Fayed. Right side, that's a route set dug up by Higgins. So Claire Marie Anderson sets up Taylor, blocked. Great save by Higgins. Manole Val sends it over. Free chance for the Shockers. Right side, route set, high hands and out for a Wichita State point.
Good swing by Michaela Roudstep, the 6'2 sophomore. Check out the block, though, on Taylor. Down and then off the head of Emily Maglio. At least she was there covering, kept the ball alive. Gave Hawaii another chance with Roudstep. What a swing by Michaela from Dundee, Oregon. 27 matches last year, 4.0 GPA, just like you, Kanoa.
Oh, yeah. Left side, here's Greeley over the double block. Good save, Mostrom. She's been pretty nails back there so far. And then Fayed, we mentioned her jumping ability. She went up a couple extra notches there to go over that block.
Mostrom's now got 6 out of Wichita State's 14 digs. She's getting the job done in the back row as Olvera.
And she's back to serve. Her sister Gabby also on the roster. The 5th pair of sisters to play for the Wichita State women's volleyball program. Here's Taylor. Goes off the block and into the antenna for a Hawaii point that stems the tide.
Once again, you notice 2 blockers up on Nikki Taylor. A lot of attention being paid to Nikki.
Something she might have to expect not only the rest of this tournament, but maybe the rest of this season.
Yeah.
That one tickles the tape. Here's Fayed from the outside. Chris Lamb, head coach for the Shockers, he refers to Shemin Fayed as a player who could be one of the very special ones in our program.
Good swing right there. She hit the seam, was wide open. Last night she struggled. 10 kills, 8 errors, to 083. Tonight, not the same. She's getting the job done.
An ace served up by Fayed.
Fayed, 5 kills, no errors, hitting 625. How about those numbers?
So Dave Shoji signals for a timeout. And at times we saw passing, bit of an issue for the Rainbow Wahine, and here in this opening set against Wichita State, in spots, the passing has struggled.
Part of that is that Wichita State's taking some more chances from behind the service line. They're hitting it pretty hard.
Let's take a look at tonight's Jack Fact. See you again in 2019. Well, the Shockers are making their 4th trip to Hawaii, and they have spaced it out equally between each trip. Traveled to the islands every 4 years since their inaugural visit in 2003, returning in 2007, 2011 when they played in this Rainbow Wahine Invitational, and here in 2015. So yeah, I guess we can mark them down. 2019, see the Shockers again here at the Stan Sheriff Center.
Listen, Chris Lamb says he doesn't win many recruiting wars. But I'll tell you one thing, he can tell his girls that go into Hawaii at least once every 4 years. That's as good a recruiting tool as he can find.
But it's true. What was the quote he told you about recruiting?
The best soundbite of the weekend.
Yeah, go ahead.
I said, Chris, you know, what's it like recruiting? I noticed there's no 50 players in your team. There's a lot of no names you've had to develop. He said, you know something? I can't win any recruiting battles. He said, I've got to find lakes where no one else is fishing.
And it's worked out. I mean, it
sure has.
This is a team that under Chris Lamb in his 16th season, they've now put together 12 straight 20-win seasons, including winning the Missouri Valley Conference Championship 5 of the last 11 years, last time in 2013.
Right now, they're out hitting 379 to 294, Hawaii. Out blocking 1-0 and out digging 14-13.
Out of the timeout, Fayed the serve, Greeley the pass and the swing, got the touch and gets the point.
And really finally changed up her swing there. So far all night, most of her shots have been to area 6 back middle or to area 5 deep cross court. There she changed it up and hit down the line and was successful. I expect her to do more of those down the line shots.
Setter substitution for Dave Shoji as Kendra Kelsch comes in for the first time tonight. Step out, missed time. So Hawaii gets a free point. And we are tied at 20.
Emily Hebert does not make many mistakes. I'll tell you, she's a pretty solid setter. Made the all-freshman team of the Missouri Valley Conference last year. Played in 30 matches.
Really with the soft serve. Mostrom the pass. Left side, the set goes to Larson. Kept alive by the Rainbow Wahine. Here's Manu Olivao from off the net. Mostrom again. Perfect dig. Step out. That's Riley. And she plugs it through the block.
Emily Hebert unafraid to go right back to Riley where she had the miss set. Now she's got a perfect set. And Riley knows how to find that seam, I'll tell you. She's uncanny how she does that. Riley now with 2 kills and 6 tries, hitting .333.
She had 8 kills, hit .438 for the match last night against Oregon State. The serve by Hebert. Pass Taylor. High and away. Set to Manu Olivao. How about this? We're tied for the 14th time in this opening set.
That might be a new Terman record.
Yeah. That is the definition of a seesaw battle.
Yeah.
Here's Kahakai. Kelsch again in at center. Step out. Riley didn't get it over the twine. That's a point for Hawaii. 22 serving 21.
Each coach with 1 timeout left. I bet Chris Lamb uses one. And yes, he does. Right now, he's going to try to stop Hawaii's momentum, what little momentum they might have. There's a step out to Riley, and this time she tries to cut it a little bit too sharp cross court. The seam was open. I'm surprised she didn't try to hit seam again.
What's Chris Lamb telling his players in that huddle right now?
Well, right now, I'm sure he's going over what play they're going to run out of this timeout. And I wouldn't be surprised to see him go right back to Riley. She's been successful all night.
Well, we have a chance. Let's check in with Ryan Suji. Ryan.
Hey, we're here on the sidelines. Chris Lamb talking to his team specifically about where they're placing the ball. They're trying to put the pressure on Tai Manu Olivao in serve receive. On the Hawaii sideline, they're doing the opposite. They've pulled Tai Manu Olivao out of the passing rotation because she's struggling, and they've inserted Nikki Taylor into the passing lineup. So that frees up Tai Manu Olivao to not necessarily have to pass the first contact. Back to you guys.
Thanks a lot, Ryan. What does that do for Manu Olivao in terms of not having to worry about that? Does that help in potentially her offensive impact?
It makes a big difference, and she can go over and get to her starting spot in her approach as opposed to having to pass and then go to her starting spot. So I think it's a good move. And Taylor's a good passer. She played all that sand volleyball in the offseason and became an even better passer than she already was. So I think she enjoys the new responsibility.
Tai Manu Olivao, a player who exerts so much effort and energy every time she goes up for a swing. There might be something to that in terms of just being able to conserve some of that throughout a match.
Exactly. One less thing to worry about.
Crowd quiets. Kahakai to serve out of the timeout. Pass by Fayed. Left side set. This is Larson. And Kelsch rejects it.
What's up with Kelsch? She played well from points 20 to 25 2 nights in a row.
She's the closer, apparently.
Oh, yeah. A little baseball terminology there.
Go middle overhead now.
23 serving 21. Middle set. That is Lehman.
Kahakai missed her spot there. She served arguably the best passer for Wichita State, Mostrom. And Mostrom put up a dime. Lehman buried it.
So 22 serving 23. Katie Riley to serve. And here it comes. Bump set to Manu Olivao. Off the hands. Diving save by Hebert. So chance now for Hawaii. Here's McGill in the middle. Didn't get all of it. So Wichita State in transition. Larson has to soft touch it over. Tight to the net, joust at the net. McGill bumps it up. Taylor sets Manu Olivao. Play a little out of whack. Another joust at the net. Another ping pong match. Now it's the set from Higgins to Manu Olivao. Blocked and roof by Lehman.
There was some good volleyball played there. Some solid blocking, some great scrambling. And here's the block that goes off Manu Olivauer actually missed her and caught the line. Great play by Wichita State.
That entire sequence was completely off script right there. I mean, you could see first touch, second touches going over, across, back and forth. And it is once again Wichita State winning one of those long rallies, which was a primary concern for head coach Chris Lamb.
Well, I'll tell you how they won that long rally was not so much in that last block, but the play of Emily Hebert chasing this ball off the court. I thought this ball was down and it was point Hawaii. It would be sitting at set point. Instead, she kept the ball alive. They stayed in the rally. There you see Matt Hoffman urging his team on. He's their assistant. But, man, what a rally, what a play. 23-all. Doesn't get any better than this.
Yeah.
This is women's college volleyball at its best.
Absolutely. Here on the opening weekend. 23-23. You mentioned Emily Hebert in that save. Chris Lamb describes her as a great athlete, and she was also a high school teammate of Abby Lehman. And look, looks like she may have slammed the dome on the Terraflex there in that effort to make the save. She appears to be okay, but that may have shaken up the cobwebs just a tad.
Now, Hebert, Larson, and Abby Lehman all played the same club team.
So it's Riley to serve. Got some drama here in the opening set. Buckle up, folks. Get comfy. Could be like this all night. Deep serve. Bad pass by Taylor, and it winds up an ace.
Well, so the experiment of having Nikki Taylor pass may not be all set up to be because they're really picking on her right now.
Aloha ball for the Shockers here in the first. They pick on Taylor again. Good pass this time. Manu Olivauer against the double block. We're tied again. And we're going to play some extras here in the first.
And immediately Manu Olivauer turns over to Nikki Taylor and says, Nikki, great pass. That's what made everything right there. And you see the hole in the block, or they call it the seam. Manu Olivauer found it.
Already 6 kills for Ty on 15 attempts. That one tickles the tape. Pancake save by Larson. And then it's put down by Fayette. Are you kidding me with some of these saves that Wichita State is putting together?
Oh my goodness, look at this pancake right here. Got the little spatula underneath. And does Jody Larson, keeps the ball alive.
So aloha ball again. And it's an ace. And it's a point for the Shockers. And some of the Stan Sheriff Center faithful may be feeling a bit of shock here from this opening set. Wichita State up 1-0. Hawaii in a battle.
Let's take a look at how Wichita State is so resourceful. Taylor Higgins going to serve a ball that's going to catch the cable. And then there's Larson popping it up with a pancake dig. And out of the back row comes Shemin Fayed. And she just buries it. Everybody on that team alert to have to make the emergency play. And that's
how it works. Brought to you by Central Pacific Bank. Yeah, down the stretch, Wichita State made some incredible saves. Made some absolute incredible saves to pull out some of those key points. Chris Lamb, the head coach for the Shockers, talking to us. What was he saying? He's talking about fly fishing?
Yeah. I guess he says we're catching some big ones or something.
Yeah.
That was pretty funny.
He is a lot of fun to talk to. I mean, he talks about the game like no other coach that I've spoken with. I mean, when we first asked him, hey, what did you think about the debut last night? He said, the Shockers touched a lot of balls at the net. I mean, he's talking about his team with the nickname. He's a metrics guy, and so when he thinks about the game, he doesn't think about it based on what the long-running traditional discussion would be. For him, he looks at it and he thinks, why do we have to follow all of the previous rules? What's to say that this player, because of their height, has to be a middle? Maybe your third best player is your third best right side hitter, and maybe that's where you should put him instead of at another position just to fill out the lineup. I mean, it's really interesting to hear him talk about.
It really is, and his team hits 316 that game. Hawaii hits 295. in a very evenly contested battle.
McGill in the middle as we start set 2. Unable to put it down. Mostrom, the bump set left side to Larson. And that's going to be a Hawaii point. So here is Chris Lamb.
He was talking about fishing there, but I didn't hear all of it.
Yeah, couldn't
something
quite
about
put it
fly
all together.
fishing there.
Yeah. Overpass by Fayed, so free chance here for Hawaii. McGill in the middle, the set was too low, so it's blocked back by Lehman. Now Taylor a big swing, she's blocked. Diving save Kahakai, Greeley sends it across. Lehman tried to first touch it and hit it long. Point for Hawaii, but how about Savannah Kahakai?
Wow, what a play. Picking up a little bit of the vibe from the Wichita State Shocker defense. They came up with a bunch of beauties.
Mostrom, beautiful pass on the Higgins serve, dug up by Greeley over the net. They go middle again to Lehman, the dink, punched up by McGill. Manuel Val from off the net. We got another strong rally here. One hand set to Lehman. And the former high school teammates at Newton High School in Newton, Kansas, connecting for a point.
How about the Farrington grad here right there, just laying her body on the line to keep that rally alive. Savannah Kahakai, what an athlete. Again, the set a little bit too low.
Right side, that is her outset. And she finds the seam in the Hawaii defense.
That set 3 kills last night, hit 286. Picking up right where she left off. 3 kills already.
Big swing by Taylor, hits it wide, no touch up front. So Wichita State on a little run here, 3 serving 2. Riley. 2-hand pass, Kahakai from her knees. Higgins sets up Taylor, and the Taylor-made connection strikes again. Nikki Taylor now with 4 kills on 12 swings, hitting 167. Manuel Val sends it into the net. 3-4. Hawaii trailing by 1.
One of the things Hawaii's got to be careful of is when they do get a little mini run going, they can't shoot themselves in the foot by having serves into the net or out.
4 service errors already for Hawaii, but McGill helping to right the ship. And we got a seesaw type of affair here starting up in set number 2 again.
And McGill going eyeball to eyeball with the other All-American, Abby Lehman. The 2 of them having quite a battle up front.
Yeah, that's a fun matchup. Here's Lehman. Pinballed around on the Hawaii side and sent over. Do they go to Lehman again? Yes, they do. And that one had a little more pop behind it.
Great set from Emily Hebert. She knows how to find Abby Lehman. Lehman going one-on-one against Maglio. Oh, what a shot by Lehman.
Well, we mentioned Hebert and Lehman, high school teammates, but Lehman was considered a basketball player in high school and wasn't really recruited to play volleyball. Nikki Taylor able to go off the block and out for a Hawaii point. And in fact, it wasn't until her senior year at a Wichita State volleyball camp that Chris Lamb decided, you know what?
What if she looks like a volleyball player?
She's become quite a volleyball player. Maybe we should recruit her. And it was sort of already concluded that she was going to play collegiate basketball, but he was able to convince her to instead play Division I volleyball at Wichita State, close to home. Worked out.
And the rest is history.
Served by Mostrom. Here's Taylor from the back row over the block. 2-handed in the air by Larson. Joust at the net, and Hawaii wins the battle. Maglio.
Nice alert play by Maglio. She was, she's the newbie on the court, so to speak. The rest of them have had a lot of playing time. Maglio not quite as much. That's kind of a play where that middle blocker's got to get up there and contend all those tight balls.
Greeley with the float serve. High and away, the set to Fayed. Wow, she got up on boosters that time.
Fayed 7 kills no errors in 10 tries. She's hitting 700 on the night. That's a monster number. Got a service ace, a dig.
Fayed played volleyball, basketball, and track in high school and was also a triathlete and a swimmer. On Olivao off the block. Here's Taylor from behind the line. Took something off.
Taylor didn't get quite the set location she wanted, so she took a little bit off and kept the ball in play, gave the Bows a chance to score in a different way, a blocking error.
Served by Claire Marie Anderson. Left side set goes to Larson. Thrown down the line, diving save, Greeley. Punched over by Taylor. Chance for Wichita State to step out to Riley, kept alive by Greeley. Middle set, McGill. And again, the set a little low, no touch at the net. McGill pumps it long.
Take a look at Hawaii's tap back there. Nice pop up by in the back by Greeley. She's the one who kept the ball alive. You know, the teams that are having a player make an extraordinary play in the middle of the rally are normally the teams that are winning the rallies, the long rallies. They get inspired by those great plays.
McGill, the dink, diving save, Riley. And a free ball sent Hawaii's way. Taylor the pass. Higgins picks and chooses, goes middle to McGill off the block. Right there's Mostrom. Now the middle set to Lehman. That's kept alive by Higgins. So Taylor sets up Manu Olivao, and she gets it smothered by Abby Lehman.
Set a little on the tight side. And really nowhere to go there. Lehman, a terrific block, and she just takes away that angle and buries it on Hawaii's side of the court.
Had a team high 90 blocks last year, 3 blocks here tonight. Manu Olivao blocked again. They battle at the net, and Hawaii keeps it alive. So now Taylor from the back row. A lot of scrambling and improvisation on the Hawaii side of the net. Riley the dink, touched up by Manu Olivao. And a net violation called against Hawaii. That was McGill tickling the twine. And so Wichita State gets the point, and they're up 3. And there appears to be some disarray on the Hawaii side of the net, Chris.
I like the way you put that improvisation. There's a lot of it going on both sides of the net. And right now, I think that Wichita State has probably 4 more better improvisations than Hawaii's got. They're up 4, 11-7.
And that wasn't scripted either, as Emily Hibbert touches the tape and drops it for an ace. Wichita State by 4 in the second.
OC Sports, presented on Oceanic Time Order Cable, is sponsored by Kaiser Permanente.
Welcome back to the Stan Sheriff Center. Wichita State up 1-0. Won the first set 26-24. They're up 4 here in the second. 11 serving 7 in the setter. Emily Hebert to slap it into play.
Not a whole lot of offense going on now. Wichita State hitting 118. Hawaii hitting 056 here in this second set. That's why they were behind by 3 points.
Higgins led the team in aces last year. Good pass by Fayed. Right side set goes to Riley through the block. Dug up by Higgins. So Kahakai sets Taylor on the opposite side. And she's able to just flop it over that block.
Taylor making some pretty good choices on her shot selection. Pulling out actually a lot of her beach shots.
Yeah, she credits her sand experience last year with helping to keep her in shape. Obviously, missed the first 7 matches last year with the elbow injury, so that changes the whole perspective going into a season healthy. But I thought it was interesting, and you talked about it too, what she says about being able to be at practice, be healthy, not just from a physical standpoint, but just in terms of bonding with the team, and then, of course, throw in the Europe trip. And
yeah,
it seems as though they're much more tightly knit, and she's a little bit more plugged in to the rest of her teammates.
Yeah, I would totally agree.
Kahakai bump set to Taylor. Oh, that had some smoke trailing off of it. Point for Hawaii.
How about the bump set to Kahakai, and Taylor quick to point both fingers at Kahakai saying, hey, Savannah, that was one great bump set. Thanks, girl.
Higgins missed wide. Good little run, though, there to get Hawaii back to within a point for a moment. 12 serving 10 now.
Nikki Taylor back at the net now, and timeout at Olivao back in the serving pattern. Let's see if they work on tie. Yes, they do.
She has a tough pass, tracked down by Taylor Higgins. Chance now for Wichita State, and we're going to have a Hawaii point. It's going to be a back row attacker called against Wichita State. Officiating crew tonight, Dixon Chun up the ladder, Wayne Ho on the floor, Dean Tamura and Wes Kawachi.
Wayne Lee.
Oh, excuse me. Got him mixed up with Ernie Ho there.
That's right.
That one off the block and down by Jody Larson.
Nice job. Go grind it out. Grind it out.
13 serving 11. Pass by Greeley. Right side, here's Taylor through the block and down. She's got the hot hand right now, Chris.
And Taylor Higgins knows it, so she keeps feeding her. Nice pass by Greeley to come all the way up and receive that serve. What Wichita State was trying to do was take Hawaii's left side attacker, Greeley, bring her all the way up to net to receive, then having to back up to make an approach.
Route set. Great dig. Higgins back to the net. The swing by Lehman, though, finishes the sequence.
Boy, Lehman made up for that last overpass she had where she launched it way out of bounds. That time goes up and just pounds it.
So 14 serving 12. Shelton with the serve. Right side, here's Taylor again. Can she keep the hot hand? So far, yes.
Taylor, 11 kills. Only player on the floor to be in double figures in kills.
How about the attempts? 22 attempts already for Nikki Taylor.
I'm a little nervous about that for Nikki. That's a lot of swings here early on.
Now the serve, and it's a good one, but Mostrom, she has been so on her game at the libero position, and that provides Rautzip with the opportunity to pump one down.
Picks up kill number 4. It's that deep corner area 1. Nice swing, hitting high over the block.
There's Mostrom with the serve. High arching. Dumped over by Higgins. Well timed there.
Taylor Higgins saw that Wichita State was playing in a pretty wide defense. It opens up the middle of the court. Most setters can't do that too many times.
How about an ace from Greeley?
I was going to say, centers can't use that dump shot too many times. It won't take long for the defense to figure it out. There, delayed Greeley with a nice ace.
There's some communication issues on service receiving there for Wichita State. We're tied at 15. 7th tie of the second set. Back row set goes to Larson. She's blocked, but she keeps it alive herself. And a scramble for the second touch. Fayed sends it over. Diving save Kahaka. Left side. Manu Olivao up the ladder. Dug up by Larson. The block on the second touch by Heber. Step out to Riley off the block. Right there is Greeley. Higgins goes back row to Taylor. Yes!
There is a well-played rally on both sides. Kahaka coming up with a big dig in the middle of that rally. And how about Nikki Taylor again, just pounding it over the block and down. No defense for that.
12 kills for Nikki Taylor on 23 swings, hitting .435. Hawaii by 1.
Alert play by Manu Olivao.
Fayed! Access denied. Maglio next to Higgins, and a timeout taken by Chris Lamb as the Rainbow Wahine are on a 4-0 run. Welcome back. So a little momentum here for the Rainbow Wahine, a 4-point run, and they're up 17, serving 15. Nikki Taylor has awakened here in the second set. She's got 12 kills to lead all players. But out of the timeout, a service error, and so Chris Lamb He can do the fishing motion again, say that he reeled in a service error from that timeout.
Third time that's happened tonight where Hawaii's got a little momentum and then they hit it, ball into the net or out.
Syed sends it deep. Kahakai the pass. Here's Taylor again. What do you do?
Unstoppable. Hawaii with 3 service aces, but 7 errors to go along with that. And here's Taylor once again over the block and down. You go find a defense for that. I've been coaching for 45 years. I'm not sure there is a defense for that.
She appears to be taking it to another level here in 2015. Left side, that's Larson. Taylor keeps it going. Mano Leivao, blocked and roofed. It was Hebert next to Riley.
Solid block by Wichita State that time. Both players out there waiting, camped out front. Mano Leivao. Instead of going out a little swing block. Block in the middle that time, Katie Riley.
Hebert with the serve. Middle set, McGill! That's how you do it, says Taylor Higgins and Olivia McGill.
And McGill going up against the All-American Abby Lehman that time. And goes, I think, over her. I'm not sure, but
Higgins to serve, tickles the tape. Mostrom on one knee with the pass. Middle set, Lehman, dug up by Higgins. Kahakai bump sets Taylor. Blocked, Higgins punches it up, and nobody can get the second touch for Hawaii.
when Taylor hits the ball low, she's blockable. When she hits the ball at her highest height, she's pretty hard to stop. That time, she hit the ball low, right along the net.
McGill, that one maybe not quite as high as she'd prefer it, but she's still able to make it work.
Looks like Hawaii's strategy now is on every good pass, they're going to go to McGill, try to keep Lehman locked in the middle and getting late to the outside if the ball is set to the pins.
Into the match to serve, McKenna Granado, the freshman out of Punahou. Right side, that's Larson. Good save, Taylor. Left side, Greeley over the block. Finds the deep corner. Hawaii by 3 here in the second.
Really solid defense. Nice set that time by Taylor Higgins. High and wide, giving Calais Greeley lots of area in which to swing.
Granado, good serve there. Left side, here's Ralsep blocked. Mostrom there. Right side, Larson, the dink, chased down by Kahakai. Right side, Taylor, the touch shot. Good scramble, sent over the net. Taylor the swing, off the block and out. Timeout, Wichita State. Hawaii by 4. And Nikki Taylor now with 14 kills in the match.
And I think she averaged around 3 kills per set last year. Right now, she's averaging about 7 kills per set. She's putting up some pretty amazing numbers. As you see Jeff Hall going over some strategy for the next play. They're going to try to figure out where the next set's going to go, probably.
You know, we mentioned in Nikki Taylor, it seems as though here in the early goings of this season that she has taken things to new heights as she continues to approach the potential that so many had marked down for her in her high school career.
Well, I think the biggest thing is that she stayed injury-free. Last year she was injured, missed 7 games, missed the entire camp preseason. And you heard her talk earlier in the pregame show, Game On. She talked about how she felt disconnected to the team. Now she feels more connected.
And she's connecting on those swings. Let's check in with Ryan Suji. Ryan.
Hey, thanks, Kunal. Well, Coach Lamb, understanding the threat of Nikki Taylor, making sure his team knows exactly where she is at all times. He said, don't worry about everyone else, just find Nikki Taylor. On Hawaii's sideline, they say double commit in the middle. So that means that 2 blockers will be going up on the middle attack for Wichita. Back to you guys.
Thanks a lot, Ryan. Yeah, you have Nikki Taylor drawing the attention. You have Abby Lehman on the other side drawing that attention. So
that was my keys to the game. Were those 2 players. I said, you know, Hawaii's Who's got to watch out for that girl right there, Abby Lehman. The next set may go to her. We'll see. In the meantime, Wichita State's got to watch out where Nikki Taylor is. Get 2 blockers up on her and hope that they have ladders with them.
Granado sent it deep, pass by Mostrom. Middle set, Lehman. Hard to bring too many blockers on that quick a transition set to Lehman. She's able to pound it down.
This is her favorite angle. Is going that angled approach away from her body.
That was demonstrative. McGill tried to go right back at her. Off the block. Touchdown by either Greeley or McGill. It doesn't matter. It's a Hawaii point.
All you know is that Greeley's smiling. Hawaii's up by 4. We'll see if Hawaii can keep the momentum up. We so often kill the momentum with poor serves.
Kakai gets it in. Lehman in the middle. What an absolute weapon.
Is this the Lehman-Taylor show? Is that what's going on?
That's what it's turning into.
Renamed this the Lehman-Taylor show.
Abby Lehman, who has a perfect hitting night in her resume, was 15 for 15 versus Bradley last year. That tied an NCAA record. 20 serving 23. Pass by Granado. Higgins sets up Greeley against a double block. High hands. Right there's Mostrom. Set left side. Fayed. Dug up by Kahakai. Higgins goes right side. Here's Taylor. That's dug up by Larson. Tight to the net. Pinballed around. Someone has to send a freebie over for Wichita State. So Hawaii with the advantage. Greeley. Diving save Mostrom. Played back over. Taylor with the swing. Through the block and down.
Again, great defense by Wichita State, popping the ball up. Hawaii keeps pounding away at this pesky team called the Shockers.
15 kills for Nikki Taylor. Hitting .414 for the night. And she's back there to serve with this retooled jump serve of hers. Took a little something off. Mostrom pass. Left side. Fayed pumps it long. Hawaii wins set 2. And we are knotted at 1 apiece. Well, we thought it would be a good one. And we're even after 2 sets. As we said, get comfy, folks.
Let the air out of the momentum balloon. Meantime, Wichita State with 4 aces. There's another stat that's not on there that I like to point out. That is that Danny Mostrom, the libero for Wichita State, has received 17 of their 37 serve reception possibilities. That's way too many for the libero to be getting over almost half of the receptions. I'm sure that Dave Shoge will look at that and they'll say, hey, let's serve somebody else besides Mostrom. She's a pretty good passer.
Yeah, because she's only misplayed 1 of those service receptions.
Exactly.
So that's a good point there. As for Hawaii, we saw some disorganization on their side of the net through a good portion of the first set and a healthy portion of that second set, but they seemed to clean things up towards the latter half of that second set. What were they doing right towards the end?
Well, I think they were scrambling better, number one. They were serving better, and Taylor Higgins certainly found Nikki Taylor quite well, didn't she?
Yeah.
That's a pretty good formula for success right there. But I agree with what Ryan Suji said that during the intermission. I think that they've got to find more offense out of Maglio to sort of balance things out, and Greeley could start lightening up a little bit more here as well.
Kahakai serving to start set 3. Middle set goes to Lehman, and she puts it down. So right back to work goes Abby Lehman. And it's 1-0 Wichita State here in the third. 9th kill for her.
When Hawaii made their run in the middle of that second set, Lehman was not in the game. She was in the back row, and she had a hard time finding her way back to the front.
Middle set missed time. That one actually sent a little too high for even Olivia McGill to get to. So 2 serving 0 here in favor of the Shockers. Riley with the serve. Higgins chases down the set. It goes to Taylor. Dug up by Hebert, but to no avail. So Hawaii on the board here in the third.
Even when Taylor gets the ball set on the 12-foot line in a scramble play, she still converts. She's having some kind of a night.
Yeah, some kind of opening weekend so far here in 2015. Higgins with the high toss. Pass by Fayed, overpass. McGill with a free crack at it, and she takes advantage. Eight kills for McGill on 20 swings. She's hitting 300. That's saying something when you can say someone's hitting 300 and they're having an off night by their usual hitting percentage standards. Higgins sending that one long. Shockers up one. Hawkeye the pass. Quick middle set to McGill.
Oh, I like that play. Something different there. Mix things up. Don't just send McGill on a quick one set, but set it at 31, a long 31 that time. Had two blockers up, but McGill can find a way over just about any block if it's set high enough for her.
And challenging Lehman. What do you think about that? Served by Manu Olivao into the twine.
Manu Olivao's fourth service error on the night. It shows you may have her stay on the ground and start jump floating instead of doing the jump serve.
So here's Hannah Shelton to serve for Wichita State. Manu Olivao handles the pass well. The middle set to McGill. Got a second chance at it after the dig by Mostrom, and she's able to oh so gently place it to the floor. Great start for McGill in this third set. Hawaii even with the Shockers 4-apiece.
McGill rotates through the front, bang, bang, bang. 3 kills already here in the second set.
Anderson with the serve. Right side. That's Raudsep block, kept alive by Mostrom. Raudsep a second time, blocked again. This time they go to the outside. The Fayed left-hand touch, saved by Greeley, touched over by Maglio. Raudsep a third time, blocked again by Megs. Here's Fayed from the outside, blocked and roofed. What are you gonna do? Maglio all over the place along that net.
It's got to be the hockey experience, don't you think? 7 years playing with the boys in Canada, ice hockey. And she probably played some goalie and learned how to reject some things, right? Some shots here and there.
She was building a wall at the top of the twine there on that sequence. Good diving save, Anderson. Right side, here's Taylor against a solo block. Dug up tight to the net, though, by Larson, and Maglio able to save it off the net. Outside Fayed, blocked by Taylor.
Hawaii's starting to take the wind out of the sails of the pin hitters for Wichita State right now. With all those blocks getting depressing. Greeley with a great save. Keep that rally alive.
Right side, here's Raudsep over the block. And off of Manu Olivao's diving attempt.
Nice swing by Michaela Raudsep, the 6'2" sophomore from Oregon. Kind of a smart shot you'd expect out of a 4.0 student.
They have several on this Wichita State roster. Danny Mostrom. Greeley has to left-hand it over, and she's able to plug it through that double block proposed.
Not sure how she snuck that one through, because the block looked pretty solid from here. Well, there was a slight hole, creating an opening for Greeley.
So now Taylor 7 serving 5. Down the line it went. Good pass by Fayed considering. Middle set to Riley. Right there's Taylor. So Higgins has some choices. Goes to Greeley. Dug up in the back row by Whitledge. Now Fayed on the outside goes over the block and down in front of Kahakai.
Let's take a look at Greeley's last shot. Her little left-handed tip shot goes in front of one player and in between both of them. And there was just some confusion there, and Greeley managed to find a way through that block.
Yeah, she couldn't have put it anywhere else. Here's Greeley again. A little more authority behind that one. Now Riley, touch shot, diving, one-hand save, Kahakai. Middle set, Maglio puts it down. How about the two Hawaii middles? 2 of the 3 M's making an impact in this third set.
Great save by Kahakai right there, giving up her body, and Maglio going hard in the middle. 2 blockers up. Nags finds the floor.
Need tickets to an upcoming UH contest? Visit HawaiiAthletics.com. Call 944-BOWS or visit the Stan Sheriff Center box office. 3 easy ways to get your seats for exciting UH sports action. Greeley the serve. Left side. It's Larson blocked. Kept alive by Mostrom. Larson a second time blocked again. Mags getting hands all over. The touch by Riley, punched up in the air by Maglio. Manu Olivao through the block and down. But Emily Maglio dominated.
There is some tenacious blocking going on right now, led by Emily Maglio from British Columbia. She's got it all going on at the net.
Hawaii by 3. Timeout. Shockers. How about the birthday girl here at the Stan Sheriff Center tonight, Chris?
Mary Shoji with her buddy Kelsey Coe.
Yes, the wife of head coach Dave Shoji celebrating the birthday tonight. We're not sure exactly what number. I'm thinking 20-something. Yeah, something in there. Greeley with the serve. Left side, here's a Larson off the block and down. So Maglio getting another touch, but one of the rare instances here in this third set where it wound up on the Hawaii side of the net.
Larson picks up her 5th kill. Hit 0-91 though.
Now Hebert with the serve. Kahakai off 2 knees with the pass. Middle set, Maglio. Wow. Emily Maglio looking much more relaxed tonight. Dave Shoji saying after the match last night that he thought maybe she experienced a little bit of the stage fright thing in the season opener, but much more relaxed tonight. You saw it there.
She had a nice run through the front row, both blocking and attacking.
Step out, that's Riley. Dug up by Kahakai. Played off the net, and Kahakai sends a free ball Wichita State's way. Middle set, pounded down by Lehman.
That's Lehman's favorite angle, that wrist away there. I think Olivia McGill's got to take a little bit more of that angle, force her to come back the way she doesn't like to go, or at least it's not as effective.
We mentioned she was primarily a hoopster in high school, and she has basketball in the DNA. Her uncle Doug Yoder played basketball at Wichita State, and her dad and sister also played college basketball. Serve goes wide, so Hawaii still up 3. 11 serving 8 coming up, and Taylor Higgins retreats back.
She's got a great disposition too. She doesn't get too high, doesn't get too low. Always, she's just like a steady rock of Gibraltar out there.
Higgins tickles the tape again. Pass by Mostrom. It winds up a middle attempt for Lehman. Didn't get all of it, but it was enough.
So they took her, they put 2 blockers out, they took her angle away. Then she's got that cutback, but you notice it wasn't as effective as that other one. She pounds down. She gets that angle shot, cuts it back, and sort of paintbrushes it.
Manu Olivao rising up. Net violation against the Shockers. It didn't matter. Point for Hawaii. Manu Olivao also pitched for the Punahou softball team in high school, so all-around athlete. Route set. Right there is Manu Olivao. Higgins goes middle to McGill, blocked by Lehman. The set to McGill wasn't quite in the sweet spot. Lehman had it blanketed.
Abby Lehman with 5 blocks right now. 5 of their 6 blocks. She's been in on almost every one.
Pass Manu Olivao, high and away. Greeley winds up, uncoils. Great save, Kahakai off the block. Outside, Bayed through the block, diving save Higgins. Here's Taylor from off the net. Missed wide. Point Wichita State, and they're back within 1. You start to get concerned. You mentioned the amount of swings for Nikki Taylor. You start to worry if fatigue sets in at some point.
You just can't play loose points against a team like Wichita State because they're so resourceful.
Middle set, McGill dug up over the net, but out by Shelton. And Hawaii able to end the Shocker run.
Here comes Claire Marie Anderson in. She had a nice run. I believe it was the 2nd set last night where she sort of ran the table at the end of that 2nd set as Hawaii made a nice comeback.
Yeah, she's been steady with the serve. Fayed rising up and getting denied. Taylor next to Baglio. Maybe as imposing a block as Hawaii has to offer.
It's a pretty good combo, isn't it? Taylor got most of that with her right forearm.
That's 6'4" next to 6'3". Round set, dug up by Manu Olivao. From the back row, Ty gets a chance, but she sends it long.
She made a nice dig, and just tried to do too much with that third contact.
Wichita State playing in front of the large crowd, not as much of an issue as it is for some of the other teams that come into the Stan Sheriff Center. Kahakai, tough pass. Greeley second touch. Manu Olivao into the net from the back row. And that's a point for Wichita State. The Shockers play their home games at Charles Koch Arena, and it seats 10,500. And last season, they averaged just over 3,000 in attendance per home game. So it's
number eight in the country, I think.
I mean, not quite what Hawaii averages, certainly, but it's not that far away either. Here's Taylor. High hands. Right there is Whitledge. Left side by Ed, the dink shot. Greeley has it covered. Bumps it. Here's Taylor from off the net. Through the double block. Whitledge again with the save, but to no avail. Well, Nikki Taylor is putting in a night's work here this evening.
KG, they want your kid.
That makes it 15 serving 13. That is her 17th kill.
33 swings.
Fayed, great dig, Kahakai. Taylor from the back row, hard angle, that one missed wide.
Not a bad setting choice by Taylor Higgins. A little bit tired swing that time by Nikki Taylor. What do you think?
I think that becomes a concern as this match wears on. All of those swing attempts, that was the 34th attempt by Nikki Taylor. Fayed with the serve, Manu Olivao with the pass, and Higgins touches it over.
But Taylor Higgins is just picking the right time and place to use her dump shot, being just offensive enough. Kay Dudzinski into the game. 6'2" junior middle blocker.
Oh, that serve just long by Greeley.
Taylor Higgins on a pass close to net. Both blockers frozen there. They're not going up and trying to challenge her at all. Leaves an open court for Taylor.
Olivao the pass over the net. Swing by Lehman, kept alive by Greeley. Here's Taylor from the back row, down the line and wide. Dave Shoji wanted a touch. So did Taylor. No touch called. And Wichita State has drawn even. Fourth tie of this third set. How evenly played has this match been? Hebert with the serve, two-handed by Manu Olivao. Here's Taylor, another crack at it. A much harder crack, mind you.
And Taylor Higgins unafraid to go right back to Nikki after Nikki's missed hit the last couple. I think that was to get her back in the groove.
Kahakai floats it over. Fayed the pass. Little set Lehman. It's as easy as that. She makes it look very effortless.
Hawaii being a little bit cautious on their serves now, making it too easy. And those, especially when Lehman's in the front row, in order to keep the ball away from her, they've got to serve tougher. Get the setter off the net.
Hebert goes right side, touched over by Raudsep. Perfectly timed as she pulled the string on that offering. And Wichita State up one at this very critical juncture of the third. And we are going to get our first look at Megan Huff, the sophomore, coming in place of Manu Olivao. 6'3" sophomore from Federal Way, Washington. And Megan Huff, who also plays basketball for the University of Hawaii, has gone through a physical transformation. And she gets her first swing at it. Dug up by Wichita State. Right side, it's Raudsep off the high hands. Kahakai there. Middle set, McGill. Got the touch. And it's a point for Hawaii. We're tied at 18. But getting back to Megan Huff, I mean, she was one of those players. You walked into the practice gym during training camp, it would have been hard to recognize her.
Yeah, she had probably the most improved player in training camp. Now she's being put on the left side where she hasn't played much during training camp. She's been playing on the right behind Nikki Taylor.
Taylor blocked by Lehman. Wow, Lehman looming large on that one. Here's Huff from the right side, two hands it over, Raudsep there. Middle set, Lehman blocked by McGill, saved by Larson. Now right side, Raudsep blocked, and Roof. Nikki Taylor.
Taylor's an imposing force up there. That right side players for Wichita State have been used to a smaller block on their right side. That's when they're going line. All of a sudden, 6'4" Taylor shows up there, and it's a different story.
We got some pretty incredible individual volleyball players and talents out there on the floor tonight. Here's Granado to serve for Hawaii. Right side, Raudsep dug up by Granado. On the second touch, the swing by Greeley. Great save in the back row by Larson. The dink by Fayed sniffed out. Here's Taylor gets a triple block. It doesn't matter.
Nice set from Kahakai. Nikki Taylor giving the Rainbow Wahine a little breathing room. That's why Chris Lamb's going to call the timeout, I believe. Maybe not. He's got one left.
Yeah, he had a notion, decided against it. Middle set, Lehman dug up by Higgins, and Lehman wins that little duel at the top of the twine with McGill. McGill didn't get off the ground.
Lehman's everywhere. She's got 7 out of their 8 blocks. Now she goes to the back row. An opportunity for Hawaii to capitalize in this last 5-point stretch in the race to 25.
Granado stays out there for Hawaii. Kahakai with the pass, bump set to Greeley from off the net. Got a touch, dug up over the net. Greeley free swing, puts it down.
Oh, Calais really had a little bit of mustard on that one. Wow.
And how about the assertion by Greeley? There was no doubt she was going to take a big swing at it.
She had a nice little hop step there to get in, get a good jump. Huff in there to congratulate her.
Here's Anderson.
Watch the 7 minutes.
Raudsep through the block. Good dig by Higgins. Bump set. Granado from the back row. Diving save Mostrom. That was a beauty. Now Fayed over the block, but she misses hard angle wide. Point Hawaii, they're up 2. And here is that aforementioned timeout signaled by Chris Lamb. The Rainbow Wahine racing Wichita State to the line.
OC Sports, presented on Oceanic Time Order Cable, is sponsored by Straub.
Lady Bows by 2 here in the third. This match knotted up at 1 apiece, and Claire Marie Anderson with the serve. Right side, it's Raudsep off the block. Taylor two-hands it. Higgins sets up Maglio, and she caught the line. Oh, so slightly, but enough to get the Hawaii point.
Emily Maglio, a new offensive force tonight. We've got 5 kills, no errors, hitting over 500.
You gotta like the way she's looked. Here's Fayed, dug up by Granado. Taylor gets it down again. That's 20 kills for Nikki Taylor, 2 off of her career high. And a 4-0 run for Hawaii.
Hawaii's having to work hard to get every single point.
Aloha ball here in the third. Raudsep, another touch by Mags. Unbelievable. Anderson, bump set. Taylor gets it down again. She has been virtually unstoppable. And Hawaii surges in front here on this second night of the Chevron Rainbow Wahine Invitational. Nikki Taylor, 21 kills to lead the way.
Take a look at Claire Marie Anderson in this difficult skill of bump setting the ball to a particular spot. Bump setting is one thing, but to put it right on the money like that where Nikki Taylor can get a good swing, that's tough to do. Nikki Taylor recognizes her right away. Says, hey, thanks, Claire Marie. That was a good set.
You had a sequence there where you had some of these younger players out of Punahou School.
Granado came in and served well.
Had a key dig in one of those late sequences. And there you had Claire Marie Anderson, who when she has been out there, and this goes back to last season, she has just looked very in control, very steady. Certainly a useful tool for Dave Shoji's crew.
She's a calming force out there. You know, she played well, this last night. I think she was on the service line for 7 straight serves at the end of set 2, and didn't miss one, kept them all in, and made a couple digs. And Chris Lamb and Matt Hoffman, former assistant at Stanford, he was there for 2 or 3 years, and he was also in Arizona. Was Hoffman. He's also several other places. Lamb was in Arizona and Bakersfield and UOP, and it's a well-traveled staff. Sean Carter, the other staff member, was at the University of Arizona. Looks like Granado is going to get a start here in the 3rd set. Interesting.
You were talking about the staff for Wichita State. Chris Lamb's wife, Shannon, is the Shockers Director of Operations as well, and has been for the 16-year tenure of her husband, Chris Lamb.
And Matt Hoffman was telling me that it's the first time he's ever worked with on a staff like that. And he said it's really good because they really bring a family atmosphere.
So Shockers serving first here in the 4th. And Taylor trying to go a really hard angle. Wasn't able to get it quite over the top of the tape. So Wichita State striking first here in the 4th. Up 1-0. Hawaii up 2-1 in the match. Shockers preseason picked to win the Missouri Valley Conference. They've won 5 of the last 11 Valley titles. Here's Greeley winding up, uncoiling, and uncorking one down the line.
And Kyle Kai with another great bump set right on the money for Greeley.
Back to serve is Nikki Taylor. What a night she's had so far. 21 kills on 41 swings, hitting .317. And as if she knew we were talking about her, deals an ace out of the deck.
Last night she had an ace, and here she picks up her first ace of tonight.
Attacks Fayed, good pass. Left side, it's Larson. That one well below the top of the net. So Hawaii up 3-1 here in the early goings.
You know, in both nights, I've really been impressed with the passing of this Wichita State Shocker team. They get the ball there up to the net, so they can be in system, run plays like that.
There is Lehman. When in doubt, right? I mean, there was a hint, perhaps, of Wichita State being a little hesitant here in the early goings of this 4th set. Maybe disappointed at the way things ended in the 3rd, but when in doubt, go to Lehman and she'll set the ship right. Here's Granado from the back row. Diving save by Fayed, nicely done. Larson from her feet, saved by Greeley. Middle set, Maglio, that had some pepper on it, and then touchdown by Higgins for good measure.
Nice tap down by Higgs. Where do you think this next, if it's a good pass, where do you think this next set is going to go? What do you think? Lehman? I think Lehman.
I would guess number 22.
Yeah, so let's get, I think Hawaii should consider getting 2 blockers up on it.
Fayed, though, instead, because the first pass wasn't there, has to swing from the back row and gets it into the net. 5 serving 2. Precarious stretch here for Wichita State.
You know, for as big a lineup as Hawaii has, this is the smallest blocking unit I've ever seen. 5'8" Higgins, 6'2" Maglio, and then 5'11" Granado.
Good swing and kill that time. As Lehman was able to put it down yet again. She now has 14 kills on the evening, hitting .481 to go along with 7 blocks. And Larson serves, past Granado. Right side, here's Taylor from the back row. Dug up by Hebert. So the bump set goes to Whitledge. The dink saved over the net. Whitledge keeps it on the Shockers side. Round step off the fingertips. Middle, Maglio. Somehow returned by the Shockers. Granado blocked, but she keeps it alive herself. Higgins says, how about one more time, McKenna? Now round step over the block, saved by Greeley. Sequence continues. Taylor from the floor has to just half-heartedly swing it over, and it works anyway.
At least one time during the night, Nikki Taylor will get a standing attack kill, where she doesn't even leave the ground, just stands there and rips it.
And that's kill,
that was one of them.
And that's kill number 22. That ties a career high for Nikki Taylor. Diving past Mostrom. Roudsepp with a single blocker against her. She sends it long, and you're starting to get a sense that the Shockers in danger of unraveling here, potentially.
This is uncharacteristic of them. They played so steady all night long.
Mostrom, beautiful pass. Outside it goes to Whitledge. The left-hand touch block back. Now Roudsepp from off the net. Another touch by McGill this time. She gets the set in the middle. The dink sniffed out by Hebert. Whitledge again, pumps it long. Was there a touch? No touch, and Hawaii continues to roll here in the early part of this fourth set. And Chris Lamb is forced to signal for a timeout. Hawaii up a handful in the fourth.
Big Island Candies, the perfect place to find the perfect gift. Visit them at their flagship store in Hilo at Alamoana Center or online at BigIslandCandies.com to see their amazing selection, including delicious chocolate-dipped shortbreads.
Welcome back to the Stan Sheriff Center. Hawaii by 5 here in the fourth. Roudsepp from the right side, dug up by Greeley after a touch at the net. Granado with the swing. Right there is Mostrom. She has been in control at the libero spot. Diving save Taylor. Back row set to Greeley. Mostrom on the second touch, gets it tight to the net. Granado with the swing, and she puts it home for Hawaii. McKenna Granado, the latest in a long line of those Hawaii products, those local high school products that just knows how to play the game. Maybe not the biggest in stature, maybe not gifted with some of the intangibles, but another one just in line with the Tito Hunas and the Aneli Kubiotineros, just knows how to play the game.
She does, and I believe that was her first kill as a Rainbow Wahine. I'm sure she'll remember it fondly.
Perspiration on the floor, being sopped up. Hawaii up 9-4. Leading this match 2-1. And we have Mary Ashton Floyd, one of the seniors on the Wichita State team, back there to serve. Her nickname, Mary Ashton, you shorten it. Mash. Pretty good name for an outside hitter. She didn't mash that one. She touched it just perfect as it tickled the tape and plopped down for an ace.
I went to practice the other day and watched them work out, and they were kind of sloppy. And all of a sudden, I heard Mary Ashton Floyd say, "Everybody come over here." She called a huddle. The coaches went to the sideline. She called a huddle of all the players and said, "Look, let's tighten things up here." And it was really a great sign of leadership by her. I'm surprised she hasn't played more tonight. I guess Chris Lamb felt that other players have matched up better against Hawaii.
Yeah, she was a first-team All-Valley last year. McGill rising high and sending it in.
Once again, only a two-person passing pattern. I'm surprised that Hawaii, well, now they got three-person passing going on.
Higgins, the high toss. Fayette overpass, McGill. It's as good as an ace, you always say, Chris.
Higgins forces a lot of problems with that jump serve of hers. Sometimes it just barely gets over the net. Other times she'll pound it, grab the back line.
Sometimes that happens too. It's part of the risk-reward metric, right?
Yeah, exactly. Unfortunately, that's her fourth service error of the night. Last night she had 0, a number she was very proud of, by the way.
Granato, beautiful pass. Here's Taylor from the outside. Nostrom. The swing by Mash Floyd. And Hawaii able to scramble it back over it. Tightrope walk the top of the net off of Taylor's swing. Now McGill in the middle. And it works.
Olivia McGill's looking like a well-deserving all-tournament candidate and all-Big West preseason pick.
15 kills. She's hit or taken the swing 31 times, hitting .355. Taylor from the opposite side. Oh, that one got disrupted by the net. Missed wide.
She's human. There's no cape there.
So now Fayed to serve for Wichita State. Pass by Granato. Middle set, McGill. Easy pickings right there.
Olivia McGill's getting an extraordinarily high number of attempts.
Yeah, that's 32 attempts. Her career high, Chris, 36 last year against Oregon. So this is somewhat of an uncharacteristic night of work for her.
Yeah.
Larson denied access. Nikki Taylor got the gist of it. And a timeout taken by Chris Lamb. Nikki Taylor taking it to another level here in 2015. Back here at the Stan Sheriff Center. Announced turnstile. 5,352 here in attendance tonight. There is Claire Marie Anderson set to serve for the Rainbow Wahine. That's a good one. And it'll result in a free ball Hawaii's way. Middle set, Maglio didn't get all of it, got enough of it. I've really liked what Emily Maglio has brought to the table tonight.
Yeah, much more offensive, much more aggressive, much more assertive. Seems happier too, smiling more.
Having fun. Larson, the dink. Wichita State trailing by 7, and that's important. After that point, that Lehman now comes back into the front row.
Good tip shot. That time by Larson. After she got blocked last time by Nikki Taylor, probably a pretty smart shot there. But the All-American is back in now for Wichita State.
Exactly. Hebert, though, sends it long from the service line.
You can't waste a rotation with Lehman in there. You got to give her every chance you can. She's got 7 of their 8 blocks. She's just a force up front, scores it with attacking and with blocking.
Taylor, good one. Fayed, great pass. Middle set, Lehman with no blockers up, and she gobbled that opportunity.
She is something else. The 31 set. This goes high and over and down. Picture perfect.
15 kills on 28 attempts for Lehman. Greeley from off the net. Fayed with the save. Lehman in the middle. That's back-to-back kills. 16 kills for her. And what you can say is that on the other side, Olivia McGill has matched the kill production of Abby Lehman tonight. But Wichita State showing some signs of life here in the 4th. High and away, the set to Greeley. Off the high hands. Hebert with the second touch. And it's dinked over. Chance now for Hawaii with the advantage. Greeley, hard angle and in.
Well, Dave shows you put in Annie Mitchum for blocking purposes to try to see if somebody could get the hands on the attacks of Abby Lehman. We'll see how Mitchum does here matched up against Lehman.
Annie Mitchum had 1 kill on 4 swings, 2 blocks in her Rainbow Wahine debut versus Idaho last night. The transfer from Irvine Valley College, where she was a 2-time JUCO AVCA National Player of the Year. Round set. Punish that set.
And Mitchum went up and blocked Lehman as she should. They're in a commit blocking situation. which leaves Raudsep out there alone on Taylor Higgins, Hawaii's smallest blocker. Raudsep took advantage.
Two-hand pass, Granado. She's going to get the set on the outside. One-handed jump. Chance now for the Shockers. Raudsep against the double block. Missed down the line, wide. Point Hawaii. 18 serving 11. And McGill will come back in.
Too many self-inflicted wounds here for Wichita State here in the fourth set. He's still hitting negative.
Negative 133 here in the fourth.
More errors than kills.
Lehman that time dug up by Taylor. Greeley from the back row. That had some pop on it. It's Lehman on the second touch with the set. Raudsep able to work the block to her advantage.
So Lehman blocks, she attacks, and she sets. She can do it all.
Too late. Go inside out.
Can you imagine what she did against Bradley last year? 15 out of 15. That's so hard to do. 15 kills and 15 tries.
Floyd with the serve. Kahakai has to set it to the middle, and it's a free chance now for Wichita State. Back row to Floyd. And that's a mash from Mary Ashton. Wichita State again showing some energy, exhibiting some wherewithal here.
They won't go away. They won't go quietly into the night.
Really the pass, middle set, McGill. I tell you what, when Higgins gets it up there in McGill's wheelhouse, the results are usually devastating.
Yeah. She was good at Arizona and against Pac-12 competition, arguably the toughest conference in the country. And she was great in the Big West last year, where she led the conference in kill percentage. Just one solid, steady performance.
Megan Huff into the match for Hawaii. 19 serving 13. From the back row, it's Floyd. Some pop on it, but the save by Granado. Greeley from the back row, save to the net. McGill with the swing. Larson the first save. Second touch diving effort by Hebert. Chance now for Hawaii. Huff blocked. Saved by McGill over the net and out. 14 serving 19 coming up.
Not a safe lead against this Wichita State team. They have too many whippings, play too great in defense.
They can score in some bunches. Here's Huff. Good swing that time through the block. Kept alive by Mostrom. Now Fayed. Two-handed in the air by Taylor. Higgins, though, second touches it over. From the back row, Floyd didn't get it above the net. I tell you what, Mary Ashton Floyd, she puts a whooping on it from that back row line.
Megan Huff coming out of the game now. Cornell goes back in. Megan Huff did a nice job taking a solid swing there, putting up a good block. Granado now is going to serve and play back row for her. Watch for Huff to come back into the front row if necessary.
Granado, former teammate of her current Rainbow Wahine mates Taylor Higgins and Claire Marie Anderson. Outside, it's Fayed blocked. And Mostrom got saddled with it. Called for the miss hit. And Hawaii on the 7th spot here in the fourth, closing in on the victory.
Wichita State used their 2 timeouts early before double figures. And so they have no way to stop the momentum with a timeout.
Pass by Larson. Step out. Goes to Riley, blocked, but kept alive by the Shockers. Now Fayed soft touches it. Right there's Granado. Kahakai sets up Taylor. Missed, wide, no touch. Point Wichita State.
I think she's trying too hard to break her record.
She's sitting on 22 kills, tied the career high. And I don't know if she's aware of it or not.
I don't think she is.
Well-timed ace by Fayed.
That was one great serve by Fayed. Enough to force Dave Shoji to call a timeout.
Yeah, he's feeling the way you described it, Chris, that this 5-point lead at this point in set number 4, not exactly said and done.
And Fayed, what an athlete. Volleyball, basketball, track and field, triathlete, and a swimmer. And she just served up an incredible ace.
You know, her dad, Jamil, former member of the Canadian national team and also played his college volleyball at USC, was the same position as Shemin Fayed. Outside hitter, big leaping ability, so she says that she's able to bounce a lot of thoughts and ideas and concerns off of him and gets a lot of great advice.
She's played fairly solidly tonight, had some trouble. There's the ace. Driving jump floater that just dies as it gets over the net.
One of the stories tonight, though, for the Rainbow Wahine is with so much attention being put on Abby Lehman, it's Hawaii's All-America honorable mention last season, Olivia McGill, who has matched the production of Abby Lehman.
16 kills for McGill in all the sorts of ways. Blocking tap downs, cutbacks, wrist away shots. Importance of a side out here, pretty crucial for Hawaii not to let Wichita State, if they want to be successful in set 4, get a side out here.
Pass by Granado, right side, here's Taylor. There's your career high. And you know what? We're just going to tag that with the Fujitsu cool play of the match. Nikki Taylor with her career high 23rd kill.
It's set by Taylor Higgins, little side step there, and Nikki driving it to area 1 and down.
She has turned into something special in this her junior year, and this is just the opening weekend. If it portends good things to come for Nikki Taylor, and it could be a fun one to watch if you're a Rainbow Wahine volleyball fan.
Ashton Floyd with a nice kill out of the back row, a little pipe set there.
Emily Hebert, wind up serve, 17 serving 22. Set right side, this is Taylor. Just adding to the total now, that's 24 kills. Kendra Kelsch. Dare we say, dare we tag her with the closer moniker. Kelsch coming in for Taylor Higgins. Nikki Taylor to serve. Great story in game 1 tonight, talking about Nikki Taylor and her relationship with her brother Josh Taylor. Star at Punahou, went on to star at Pepperdine. Now wearing the same number this year as Josh. Number 14. Middle set. Mitchum found the empty area. Annie Mitchum.
Everybody rushing up to get the soft tip over the block. Instead, Mitchum finds the corner. Smart play by Annie. Tom Pestalacci at home right now, smiling.
The former All-American men's player here at the University of Hawaii, the former coach at Irvine Valley College of Annie Mitchum. They're standing here at the Stan Sheriff Center. Greeley's spike dug up back over the net. She'll get another crack at it. The dink sniffed out by Hebert. Mostrom sets up Fayed from the back row. Two-hand save, Kahakai to no avail, and so they'll stand at least a little bit longer. A little over 5,300 here in the Stanley tonight. Aloha ball for the match. Kahakai the pass. The set, high and away, Greeley. Blocked and roofed, and it's not over yet. Guess who?
Solid block once again. Lehman's in on the block. She's been in on almost all of their blocks tonight.
Riley to serve again. Greeley again. Here's route set into the net. And this one is Powell. After dropping the opening set, the Rainbow Wahine rip off 3 straight wins en route to a 4-set victory over a game and talented Wichita State squad.
We saw an awful lot of good volleyball tonight. We saw two All-Americans facing each other at the net with Olivia McGill and Abby Lehman. Saw some great defense in the back row, diving saves by Kahakai and Bostrom. Saw some great coaching strategies going on as well. I mean, it was just one delightful night of volleyball to me to watch as a fan and a broadcaster. There's so many wonderful things to see on both sides of the net.
And put on top of that, a career performance by Nikki Taylor, who has taken her game into the mesosphere here in 2015. Let's send it over to Scott Robbs. He's with Dave Shoji.
Hey, thanks a lot. Well, Coach, that was kind of what we expected. It was an entertaining match and extremely competitive.
Well, we knew that because they're a scrappy ball club. We saw that last night. They beat Oregon State, and we knew we were in for a battle. It really disappointing to lose game one, but our team just fought back and just stayed with it, and they didn't panic. So, a really good victory tonight.
I think also you showed that you have a lot of confidence in your depth. You used a lot of players.
Well, we had to. You know, Ty struggled again, and Granado came in and played like she can, and then we got some spot play by other people, but that's what we need. That's a good win for us. That team won't lose more than two or three more matches all year.
All right, tomorrow night it's Oregon State, or tomorrow afternoon, 5 o'clock first serve. It's one of your 6 Sunday matches. What's the availability of Ty for tomorrow?
Well, you have to buy a ticket and come in and see for yourself.
Come on, you can tell us. What's the deal?
We'll see. We'll see. Have to see. See how she feels. She's been positive about playing, but it's a hard decision for her. But we'll see tomorrow.
All right, Coach. Thanks a lot.
All right. Thank you.
Back over to you guys.
Thanks a lot, Scott. All right, let's take a look at the Bank of Hawaii players of the match. Pretty easy. Abby Lehman, unofficial stats, 17 kills, 8 blocks, plus a dig. Nikki Taylor with the career high. I believe the final total in kills was 24. Again, these are unofficial stats, but we'll call it 23 for now. 5 blocks, 10 digs. Let's not forget about the efforts of Olivia McGill, who was also tremendous tonight. Interesting what Dave Shoji said about Taimano Olevao, and there have been some varying reports here in the week leading up to this opening weekend as to whether or not she would play in Sunday matches this year. Of course, did not previously because of her affiliation with the LDS Church. It is a very difficult position, I would say, for a young woman to be in a program that is scrutinized in the way that this program is. A lot of pressure on her, but Dave Shoji, I give him a lot of credit. He has given her the room to maneuver when it comes to that decision. What's your take on it?
Yeah, I think that what's really tough for her this year, I think, is that there's only 2 seniors in this squad, and senior night in November falls on a Sunday. And they have more Sunday matches than ever this year. They got 6 Sunday matches. That makes it even tougher on her. That's like more than a third of the home matches are going to be on Sunday. So that makes it very difficult for her. I have a feeling that she's going to play. She's a team captain. I think she wants to be there for her teammates, but we'll see.
Yeah, I think the key here is, and this has sort of been the tone established by Dave Shoji, the rest of the program, is they're going to support her regardless of what ultimate decision she makes. And I would hope that the fans of this program do the same, because she is a hardworking player who leaves it out there night in, night out. And so whatever decision she makes, I would hope that we bolster Taimano Olevao in this situation.
Yeah. And another big concern for tomorrow is that this match took a lot out of the Wahine tonight. Yeah. And they've got a big match against Oregon State tomorrow. Oregon State did not have a tough match tonight. They won 3 and out against Idaho, and they're going to be a little bit fresher, and they played much, much better. It was a totally different Oregon State team that played today. So I think Dave Shoji has got to be concerned about the Pac-12 opponent that's coming up tomorrow and how fresh his team is or is not, and how fresh Oregon State is.
We knew Wichita State was going to be a difficult proposition for Hawaii. They proved to be that. They swept Oregon State on the opening night of this Invitational last night. So what can Hawaii expect in terms of the challenge proposed by Oregon State? A Pac-12 team like Wichita State, just outside of the preseason AVCA Top 25.
And they got a lot of returnees that went to the Sweet 16 last year. And Oregon State, a tough NC2A team who were receiving votes.
Yeah.
And I think when I watched them this afternoon, they look pretty good. And I think that Dave Shoji and Jeff Hall and Robin Amos Santos have got to be concerned about getting their team up for tomorrow night's game. I think they thought that, maybe the real tournament championship was tonight against Wichita State. I think tomorrow night is just as important for the Rainbow Wahine.
Well, tonight going up against the Shockers, the result came back. Shock us for the Rainbow Wahine. 2-0 to start 2015. That's it for us. We'll see you tomorrow. Stay tuned for the post-game show coming up after this. Hawaii wins in 4.